Welcome to Eurobike 2023, the world's biggest trade show for bikes. And for some reason, I've adopted the accent of Ollie from GCN.
That's awkward.
So, have you seen the cricket lately? What's the score? Okay, here we are, Eurobike 2023, day one, and a quick look at a few things that caught my eye today. I'll be here for all 5 days, so there's a lot to cover. But I thought I'd just showcase a few things today before having a chat to Ray as we walked home from the show this afternoon. Starting off with these TrueNav navigation units here, Linux-based, topographic maps being their hero feature. Wheels of all kinds, some interesting indoor training software that Ray had a deeper dive into. Now, anything you see here, I'll look closer at later in the week. But today was just scoping out what's new, what's around, and trying to find that next interesting product. One of the new power meters on show for this year, Rotor Twin Power SL. SL, I think, is the lighter version. It's a little lighter, a little cheaper. They tell me upgraded firmware on that as well, so hopefully get my hands on one of those. They're also doing mountain bike in-spiders. We have some, I've got no idea what they are, but gravel bikes galore. Gravel bikes and e-bikes. No shortage of those, including bikes with very strange frame setups. I'm not sure that's for tire clearance or for retention, but that's just a very weird top tube. Zwift, spotted over there with our friends from Shimano. Zwift themselves not at the show, but on show. Quite a few booths. We have the Headless Horseman Team Time Trial, looking very creepy. Classified, very, very popular stand. And their new TT wheel. With the Classified hub built into that. The omnipresent Omnium is always on show, every single trade show. There's not a trade show without it. And this skin suit here from Michelin, not quite sure. They're keen to give us the wind tunnel data, but it doesn't look too good. Reserve wheels with Roglic's bike, a replica of Roglic's bike, no doubt. On show there, pretty in pink. Ride Now, get the award for, I'm not quite sure if this is cringe or this is perfect marketing. They're giving away, no, that's not what you think it is. There are 2 TPU tubes in that pack. Lama. Yes, this is a product, and it is a type of radar device for e-bikes, camera and lights built in, back and front. More on that soon. Another group set from China, Wheel Top, with their wireless shifting here. They also do cable pull brakes on the road group. Interesting stuff. Obviously the big players are here, Campagnolo and the new wireless. Sci Plus, out of nowhere, comes out with a radar device and, more surprisingly, these Wellgo pedals, so look compatible. Very much like the Favero pedal, but from Sci Plus, dual-sided power meter. Let's try and get a hold of these later in the week. And Magine had quite their range on show, including a lot of products that haven't been announced yet. Well, they're coming soon. Obviously, they're being announced at the show. Their new head unit there. TPU tubes everywhere at the show. XR wheel set. They also had all their power meters over on the wall here. Now, Magine have sent over their PES meter that you see there, based on the P505. And what's interesting about this one is that it has the 24mm spindle, which means it can be swapped out for any Shimano system without having to change the bottom bracket. Keen to see how this goes, but based on the P505. So just scratching the surface today, lots and lots more to cover in the days to come. But on the way home, let's have a chat to Ray about the day. And that is day one done.
Score.
Right.
Complete.
Step count?
I'm way behind you. I stopped the road for a while.
There's a lot of walking at Eurobike. There's a lot.
Well, I'm at 12,172.73, and you are at
Ray's going to read it out because it's on the...
18,540. Yeah,
Hey!
you've dominated today, but you know, I could go for a run and settle the score. But we'll keep it.
You did 10 Ks last night. Yeah,
Yeah.
But finally, we're counting steps at a bike show. What the hell? How many Ks have we done on a bike?
0.
Yeah, none.
We got scooter time.
A couple of scooters were fun this morning. Absolutely. Yeah. That was. We have our teeth are still there.
Yeah, it's
all good. So Eurobike 2023 day 1. Ray, your take?
It's finding its groove, I guess I would say. Like we're not seeing the big product announcements that we would have seen 5 years ago, right?
They were the heyday. We were telling multiple people that we had like 7 or 8 videos lined up for embargo release, 9 AM Eurobike day. Today we had 0.
You're seeing smaller announcements from smaller companies. The big companies, and really everyone, has realized that no longer are trade shows about making sales at the trade show between retailers and component manufacturers and all that kind of stuff. Instead, it's about chatting. Like literally most of our day was spent chatting and catching up with people and all the nuanced stuff that then drives the rest of the year. And so there's that, and then I think also the bigger companies from an announcement standpoint, they're all saying they're gonna announce a product when it's ready, as opposed to the past. It was like you had to announce at Eurobike.
Well, we saw many years ago the Specialized, the BMC, the big bike performance companies, the big performance bike companies aren't here. They're doing their own thing. I think e-bikes are propping this show up. And cargo, they're just everywhere. And that's fine. Initially, I was like, oh, they're encroaching into our performance bike show. It's what bikes are now too. So and even the performance bikes all have e-bikes. So they are everywhere, and they're not going anywhere.
No.
Well, actually, they're going pretty quick. They're
zooming by.
Yeah,
that was a really cool one, by the way. I don't know if we got that in camera, but that was a pretty wacky looking, like sort of cargo e-bike thing. I don't know what that was, but yeah.
Oh, if anybody's got HD, they're probably stealing our tags and getting free entry for the next day. Don't take. That's fine. Just say you're part of the companies that we. Anyhow, interesting day. More of a day of discovery, which is always day 1, especially when there's no embargo releases. I guess we're going back home tonight to look at all the press releases that have been released during the day, because we're not online during the day like we usually are back at home or back at the office. So we'll get back, see what's new. There would have been a lot of things we've missed today. Standouts for you, Ray? Any new tech?
Let's see. Magine had their new bike computer they've announced, the C606.
606,
606. So it's essentially like a Edge 840, but a sub $300 price point.
It looked a lot nicer than their older C406C.
It did. One of the things I kind of commented in my written post about it was that basically, I don't want to say it's easy to make a bike computer that's sub $300 that has navigation, Wi-Fi, blah, blah, blah. All the spec things that you would check off on a list, right? But that's actually not what makes a good bike computer today, right? Like, the reason why Garmin has succeeded or Hammerhead has succeeded is that they have all these extra features that people want. And I don't think, and we'll have to see, Majine's sub $300 unit won't start shipping until October-ish.
Yeah, there's a lot of like September, October, or end of the year we're seeing for a lot of products here today. Yeah.
And so they don't really have a very clean like software feature list yet of what all those features look like. But as I commented, like just having a bike computer that has some pretty maps on it and Wi-Fi uploads isn't going to be good enough to compete with not the Edge 840, but the Edge 830, right? Like, why would you get Edge 830 you can find on sale for sub $300, right? So companies have to, and they know this too, companies have to have a good reason to buy that unit. And it'll be interesting to see what that reason is. If they can have that reason exist, then that could be really interesting. They're saying well under 300 bucks. Like I asked them, like, are you talking 200? Are you talking 250? And they got kind of like sly, and they're like,
there's a lot of unknowns at this show. There's a lot of unknowns because it's so early. Usually it is first week of September or end of August, where things are a lot more mature, and they pretty much know what's final products are going to be. So I saw. So the Rotor had a new power meter today, which is just a new revision of the twin power.
Correct.
Sci Plus had some Favero Asioma looking pedals.
Interesting.
And a radar, another radar. No detail whatsoever. Very little on the detail. Very coming soon, just a preview, etc. But we'll start poking.
I think the whole radar thing is interesting, right? So we've got Brighton with radars, we've got Magine with radars, then all those companies now have e-bike radars as well. So the idea that you plug it in a CAN bus and it's always powered on, which makes tons of sense.
It's taken a long time for radars to become, everyone's got one, every company's making them, good.
But I asked though, like, I'd love to understand what, did Garmin F up and not have IP protection on some of that stuff? Or B, or they just don't care? Like,
Just do it. Yeah, make it. Yeah.
Like, I wonder why they don't care, or why. I don't know. Like, to me, at some point, it's just interesting.
Well, AirPlus radar is an open standard, but
the actual
patent of actual
technology.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's awesome to have good. I think it's awesome to have good. That's a key important point there. Good radars that are less expensive and more accessible.
The issue that I have, and I haven't reviewed the Brighton one yet, although the new revision firmware is good. I keep retesting, and it keeps changing. These are de facto safety devices with no industry standard. And no industry, look, people like power meters, though they're not a safety device, there's no real industry standard. So that's what we check a lot, power meters. So radars are the same, but I think it's important for radars to at least meet a certain standard.
Totally.
And that's what we saw. The early Brighton ones were not really that great. You couldn't,
good.
And as soon as you lose trust in a device that you use for safety, I'll always do safety because people will be like, they're not a safety device, but people rely on them for that. And confidence in knowing that what they're seeing is accurate.
That smells good, by the way. For the rest
What is that? It's Italian.
It's expensive, though. And we're going to probably just buy food from the grocery store. But
and sit on our computers. Oh, nice.
Pretty much. I think they have to be better at accuracy of safety, if you will. Accuracy of those radar targets and so on. And up till now, my testing of the Brighton, as well as the Magine with the most recent firmware, has not shown that.
I lost trust in the Magine one with one of their firmwares.
Yep.
And then I'm always questioning it now. It's usually okay, but I'm like, you can't messing with safety devices. It's almost like in a car. Oh, my seatbelt came unclipped once. You'll always be worried about your seatbelt getting unclipped.
And maybe that's what Garmin knows. Maybe they just know right now it's an own goal, so they're like, let them own goals, rather than, obviously, if Garmin were to sue one of these companies, there's a whole thing associated with that from a brand, whatever you want to call it, right? It's sort of like when Peloton, threatens some YouTuber or something like that, right? That doesn't really help their...
Speaking of which, you notice the chevrons on the tram doors here? I noticed the chevrons on the tram doors.
Is this a green light?
Yeah, so I think today was more of a day of discovery. Tomorrow might be more of a, we've got things to go and look at.
Yeah. So lots of chats. It's just a lot of behind the scenes chatting.
Do you think they've fixed the layout of the show?
You got now. Fucking miserable.
So, Friedrichshafen, however I've murdered that word, where this used to be, was, hall. You want to get from one to the other, crisscross. It was excellent to move around.
Yep.
Here, trying to get to 9.1 or 9.3, which is, I still cannot work that out. That's some serious bikepacking setup.
I'm just taking it all in. You got to flip this camera around. And
I will, and we're over there. That's team issue kit and a bikepacking. Hang on one sec. We'll get it. Do we have rear-facing camera?
Wahoo Rome.
You know when he looks like a cyclist? That dude, he's doing some Ks.
He did.
That was like a pro-level rider with backpack.
Yeah.
It must be a new thing. Pro-level races with bikepacking stuff. Anyway, so a day of discovery, that's really about...
I saw the Rollo thing, the Rollo app. It's
which
like
is the virtual cloud-based...
It's like a wannabe Zwift, basically, the best way to describe it, right? They had a big booth, so they were kind of like last year's MyWoosh had a big booth. This year, Rollo had a big booth.
Right.
And really impressive graphics on the ones that were in booth. We'll put some screen footage on that here, but as I found out, though, the stuff that's in booth was on some really high-end PCs.
Right.
Versus they also have basically streaming, so you can run it on an Amazon Fire Stick if you want to, which is pretty cool, I guess, right? Bringing that price point down.
That is a barrier for something like Zwift to run nicely. You've got to have a decent level computer to run it at 60 frames a second. So this is like, I've got Xbox streaming on the new telly I got at home. It works quite well. Yeah, okay.
Exact same concept.
As long as you've got enough bandwidth,
Yep, and so I'm keen to poke at that a little more and see how that works.
Yep. A note for tomorrow, that's one to look back on. I've got some B-roll of that, but I didn't dive into exactly what it is and poke and prod.
Yeah, there were some substantial language barriers there in that booth, which is totally understandable, right? We are English-speaking fools in Germany, and they are people that are not Germans or English-speaking. They're from, I think they said...
Bulgaria?
Bosnia? I don't remember where, but somewhere else. And so we had to do the dance to figure that all out. They've got some cool tech there. I'm interested to see how that works out. I struggle if there is a demand for that many additional indoor cycling apps out there today. There's a lot of indoor cycling apps, right? Like we could list a whole huge number of them. And it's not 2020 April anymore, right? March. So
That's March 18th, and I can tell you exactly the day where everything went crazy for COVID.
Yeah.
And people seeking platforms and indoor cycling. Yeah.
So that's
Things have
tougher.
changed a lot. Yeah.
yeah, but no news from the biggies today. No news from Garmin. Certainly they had their big cycling announcements. You know, a month or so.
Shimano had some new shoes.
shoes.
I guess at a tech show, I was going to say, but not really a tech show. It's a
Bike.
release bike show, but there were new. Yeah, Q's was
Yeah.
already out anyway. Q's was a big one for them a couple of weeks back. I couldn't find SRAM today. I got a message from the guys from SRAM. They're like, "Oh, you got to drop past it." I'm like, "If I can find the place."
Yep.
Getting lost today was a bit of a theme of mine.
But again, all these companies announcing beforehand. SRAM announcing 2 weeks ago, a week
Apex
ago.
Axis was out the other day.
Yep,
Yeah,
Garmin
they're all-
announcing a few weeks ago.
It used to be
like-
the exception to the rule. Saris released the H3 earlier than, and it got a lot of attention because it was before Eurobike's announcements. And that was the year I think we dumped a ton of stuff on embargoes on in Eurobike day one.
Saris did not have a booth here, but I did run into a Saris dude, a Saris like rep something. He said they're not dead yet. They're still quite very much alive, and just kind of figuring
Where's
out.
the H4 then?
So Saris, for those that don't remember, Saris was bought last summer as part of like basically a bankruptcy sale
By a company who owns Kodak.
a company who owns other brands that are mostly dead.
We can look.
So we're good. They're still protecting us. So I think they're all trying to figure out what their life is going to be like going forward. And they said the product engineering though and development is still there, and they're still developing. In fact, he said that core of the company actually remained the most untouched out of all the groups.
The new bike
Yeah.
park back home in Creswick, where I ride my mountain bike now and gravel bike, all the bike infrastructure there to pump your tyres up and do the servicing, all Saris branded. And there's even an e-bike charging stand
There's your
next to
chevrons.
all that. So Saris is branded everywhere. They're just not doing the indoor train.
Yeah, they're really into bike infrastructure, as they call it now. So bike racks,
Right,
bike, bike.
And they have been for a while for the manufacturing side of things for bike racks,
Yep.
for cars, etc. Yeah, cool. Yeah, so I think tomorrow's going to be another day of wandering around, probably more specific things though, because tonight we're going to get home and read the million tweets or so and find out the things that we all missed and we should have seen today.
It's the best
So
part.
if you didn't see anything in today's video that's not there, that's why. It'll be tomorrow or the next day, or I'm here for the weekend as well. Ray's doing a quick dash and being done.
Yep.
All good. All right, we'll leave it there. That's day. I'm losing track of the days. It's been a very long day. That's day one, Eurobike 2023. Ray, you'll have a video out.
I'll
in
video
today
out
or
for a
two-
recap tomorrow. Yeah,
Okay,
sometime
cool.
as soonish.
But you've already got 5 posts.
I've got a bunch of posts out already. Yeah,
It's been working hard.
Yep.
All right. Okay, cool. We'll see you tomorrow sometime.
Yep. Have a good one.